تعلن الحكومة الليبية
The Libyan government announces a state of high alert on all oil fields, seaports, oil companies and institutions, and is halting the production and exports of oil until further notice.
إلى حين إشعار آخر.
An announcement that shocked the nation this week, as most of the oil fields in Libya, located in the east of the country, have been shut down by the Benghazi-based government.
جاء نتيجة الصراع الحاصل في المصرف المركزي.
This is due to a standoff between the eastern and western forces over the central bank. The Presidential Council in the west appointed a committee to control the central bank. The eastern government responded by stopping oil production, which it controls, in rejection to the west's unilateral action over the central bank.
إجراءات واضحة
The Central Bank of Libya receives all state revenue and plans how the state budget is spent around the country. However, it is torn between two rival forces, an elected parliament and government in Benghazi in the east and an internationally recognized presidential council in the capital Tripoli in the west. The head of the Tripoli government, Abdelhamid Dbeibeh, hit back at the closures and called on the east-based Benghazi government to resume oil production immediately.
Oil is a major source of income for the Libyan government, and therefore any cuts in production would have an immediate and damaging effect on the economy.
Oil revenue is partly used for paying public sector salaries and providing fuel subsidies, so the victims of production cuts are the citizens of this oil-rich nation.
None of these politicians cares about the suffering of the Libyan people. No one cares about the country. They are only enriching themselves from its wealth.
Meanwhile, an ongoing UN-sponsored national dialogue to establish a roadmap for a new constitution and elections has been faltering since 2021.
Elections in Libya will never take place under these circumstances because we are divided between East and West. We will never solve any problem in Libya, whether political, economic, military or oil-related, unless we are united.
The UN had called on factions to refrain from using oil as a political weapon, but these calls will likely fall on deaf ears until the turmoil in Libya is resolved. Yes, Hakim for CGTN, Cairo, Egypt.